It's fast approaching and full of controversy. The Padres plan rodeo at Petco Park. Welcome to the 4. I'm Heather Myers.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. We were expecting a judge's decision today on whether he'll stop it. CBS 8's Kelly Hessedal was in court when both sides faced off. Kelly.
That's right. You know, if you bought a ticket for the rodeo, it still isn't clear if that event is going to happen as scheduled. We are just 4 weeks away of when it's supposed to kick off. Now, the plaintiffs in this case argue that holding a rodeo at Petco Park violates city code because city code doesn't allow non-service animals inside the ballpark. Here's how the Padres attorney responded to that today.
I would point the court to provision L, which also prohibits throwing any solid object, including footballs and baseballs. So if the court were to read the statute the way that the plaintiffs are advocating for, that would mean that the Padres could not even hold baseball games at Petco Park.
And she says the city code the plaintiffs in this case, the Animal Protection League and showing animals respect and kindness are referring to, is meant to be applied to the public. So she says it's the public that cannot bring non-service animals to the park. She says it isn't guidance about the kind of events the Padres are allowed to hold at Petco Park. She points out fireworks are prohibited under the same code, and while fireworks are set off at Petco Park all the time. But the plaintiffs' attorneys say this case isn't about fireworks, it's about a rodeo, and it's about animals. And just because you may be breaking the law and setting off fireworks and you haven't faced any consequences for it doesn't mean the code doesn't apply.
It does go to the level of harm and level of impact. So just, the speed limit's 55 and you're doing 65, you might not get pulled over, but if you're doing 85, you might get pulled over.
And so the hearing went on for about 2 hours, a lot of back and forth about the interpretation of the city code. And what the judge needs to decide is whether or not to issue a temporary restraining order. And if he does, that would put a halt to ticket sales, essentially canceling the event. So a lot at stake here. In the end, the Padres and C5 rodeo attorneys, the company that's putting on the event, they asked for more time to respond, and the judge agreed. So back out here live, the hearing ended today in another cliffhanger. The judge says that he expects his final ruling to be issued sometime early next week. Heather and Carlo.
Kelly, where is the city in all of this? Have they even approved the permit for this event?
Yeah, I reached out to the city today. They say that they have not approved this permit yet, and essentially sounds like the Padres haven't quite filled out all of the paperwork at this point. Now, meantime, there's also a grassroots effort to try and get the city council to ban shocking devices and those kinds of things from rodeos in San Diego. I spoke to one of the organizers today. He told me he's met with at least one city council member who seems to be on board with this, and he feels that the momentum is on his side. He says, considering that just in LA last week, they banned rodeos in LA altogether.
Not much time to work this all out. Kelly Hessedal reporting live for us. Thanks.